Everyone knows that you can't be a successful YouTuber without some good old-fashioned drama. So today, I'm going to do something so bold that it's never happened before on this channel. I'm going to express a controversial opinion. So let's talk secret layers. I think that in general, secret layers are awesome. I haven't been a huge fan of every single art style, but offering players super unique promos is a great way for WotC to make money. It gives players who have some extra income something really cool that they can add to their collections, and it doesn't punish players who like to keep a tighter budget because they can always just buy the normal versions of the cards instead. In fact, it probably helps budget players a little bit too, because if a ton of players buy an Elesh Norn secret layer, for example, then the price of Elesh Norn should go down at least a tiny bit. But then everything changed with the Walking Dead secret layer. WotC released 5 mechanically unique commanders plus 1 bonus equipment, and tensions were very high. Suffice it to say that commander players were not feeling very okie dokie. And you know what? I think most of the outrage was justified. There was definitely a bit of overreacting, just like every opinion that's ever been expressed on the internet, but I think it made perfect sense for commander players to say, hey, don't make mechanically unique cards that we can only buy for like a week. Now WotC did say that they maybe will reprint Magic versions of the Walking Dead cards in the future, but a maybe doesn't really mean anything. And all of that brings us to today, when WotC said, hey, what if we did the same thing that made everyone super mad, but with Stranger Things this time?
Hey! This is not happening. No buts.
This new secret layer drop once again features mechanically unique cards from a non-Magic IP, and I, for one, am actually pretty hyped for it and not at all angry. It seems like a lot of people are treating this secret layer the same way they did the Walking Dead one, but there's a huge difference. This time, WotC has 100% confirmed that they will be releasing normal Magic versions of these cards in set boosters. For the rest of this video, I'll refer to those as not Stranger Things cards. So this secret layer is really just a way to get fancier looking versions of normal Magic cards for a limited time, which is exactly what every other secret layer is. Now I know that it's not exactly that simple, so let's get into the details real quick. First off, the not Stranger Things cards won't come out until about spring 2022, which even I have to admit is kind of a bummer. It would be great if they released at about the same time as the secret layer did, but then again, if WotC is going to pay money to put different IPs into their game, then they probably want to make a lot of money off the secret layer versions, which is understandable. And personally, I don't think I've ever built a commander deck within 6 months of the commander being printed, so I don't think this is a huge deal. Also, given how long it takes Wizards to ship secret layers in the first place, I'd be surprised if anyone actually got their hands on a Stranger Things secret layer before 2022 anyways, so there really isn't a giant time difference in availability. Secondly, these cards aren't going to be reprinted in the normal way. They'll be put onto this special thing called the list, which is, well, a list of a ton of Magic cards that WotC thinks are cool, I guess. The way it works is every time you open a set booster, you have about a 25% chance of getting a card from the list as the last card in your pack. The list has about 300 cards on it, and as you'd expect, rares and mythic rares on the list are rarer than commons and uncommons. So yeah, there's probably a bit of concern that the not Stranger Things cards will be incredibly hard to come by because they'll just get put on this giant list. But WotC did say that when they add these special cards to the list, they'll make it so that you're more likely to get them for at least a couple months. In fact, from what I've gathered, it sounds like in the Streets of New Capenna set, roughly 1 in every 8 set boosters will have a Not Stranger Things card in it. This actually sounds like a super good deal to me if we run through the math real quick. Every set has about 64 rares and mythics, so the chance of opening any specific one in a given pack is about 1 in 64. Since there are 8 Not Stranger Things cards, and they show up in every 8th pack, that means that the chance of opening a specific one in a New Capenna set booster is also about 1 in 64. So they should be about as rare as just a normal rare card in that set. And that means they should hopefully end up being around the same price as a normal commander. Now that we've covered the availability issue, let's get to the other problem. This may come as a shock, but some people don't like Stranger Things and don't want to play against random human children. I summon Avacyn, Archangel of Hope. Oh yeah, well I summon Mike. Now personally, I think it's absolutely hilarious that I can show up at a table full of angels, demons, and dragons and just slap down my commander, Mike, a random kid in a blue jacket. I get why some people are against the idea, but honestly, none of these cards feel super out of place to me. Like, is it really that weird to see a psychic kid on a card when we already have Aminatou? Or a human with a slingshot when we already have goblins with slingshots? Jim Hopper is basically just a person with a gun, which is the same thing as Alaborn Zealot. Yes, it is a little weird that the Stranger Things cards supposedly come from the real world, but you know what else comes from the real world? Grizzly bears. Like, let's compare the flavors of these two cards real quick. Mike is a regular human boy, but he has a story, a personality, and connections with other characters. Grizzly bears is just a bear. No backstory, no personality, no nothing. It's just a bear. So if you told me it's weird that Mike Wheeler is in Magic, I would just hold up a grizzly bear card and say, stranger things have happened. In all seriousness, I guess my point is this. If you don't like the secret lair because it's mechanically unique, then don't worry, because this secret lair is not mechanically unique. Or at the very least, it's only going to be mechanically unique for like 2 months, and then you should be able to get a normal Magic version for a reasonable price. On the other hand, if you don't like the secret lair because you hate the flavor and don't want cards with non-Magic IPs, then that's totally fair. But just remember that some people do like them, and that's also okay.
But I like that thing. I like that thing. What the fuck? I like that thing! You know, there are people who exist that like that thing. We will not be silenced!
But most importantly, do not take out your grievances on other players. If somebody shows up to your LGS and they're super excited to play their Lucas Will artifact deck, then don't complain about their deck or refuse to play with them. The great thing about Commander is everyone can pick whatever flavor they want for their deck, so don't try and tell other people what pictures they can or can't have on their cards. At the end of the day, it's just a game. Also, we're skipping trivia this time because I wanted to get this video out as early as possible. Are you going to buy the secret lair, or do you think these crossovers are ruining Magic? Are you excited or absolutely terrified to think that someday you could show up to your LGS and see an actual Commander game between Gandalf, Rick Grimes, Mike and Dustin, and Chun-Li? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and as always, thanks for watching.